But
Yeah.
yeah, it was mad, man. But what do you think about? Got a question for you. What do you think about? There was a thing that someone put on Twitter the other day, and I agreed with them. To be fair, they put So sorry, this to add context around it. I keep forgetting about context. So recently, I think 3 men were sentenced to 30 years for basically facilitating and distributing football streams across the world, and for people to be able to use apps or links or whatever to access football on 3 p.m. kickoffs and things that weren't being shown on UK broadcasting. And they got 30 years between them. And someone put on the thing on like a quote tweet on Twitter and reeled off like basically Sky £100, BT £50 or whatever it is, Amazon £20, DAZN £20. So you're talking, say, £200 a month or thereabouts. And they were basically saying, well, why don't you lower your Sky subscriptions and other subscriptions, and then people won't have to be cutting corners to try and watch football that they're trying to watch. So what do you think about the whole, first of all, what do you think about the 30 years? Because I feel like it's a bit mad, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, because they didn't each get 30 years, did they? I think they get 10 each.
Yeah, across or maybe one got 15, one got 5, and then but I'm not sure what it was broken down like.
I mean, it's excessive ain't even the word, because I saw I think literally like a couple of days later there was someone who got put in prison for being an actual paedophile. It was like 2.5 years. So that tells you, because it's the UK justice system as well, isn't it? These guys, the TV guys, yeah. So it's a mess anyway. You know how I feel about these things. They charge crazy amounts, and they all choose to pay that. By the way, I know there's competition, but they're the ones that bid. Was it billions or millions? I can't remember how much it is now. It's billions, isn't it? That they bid or whatever. It's also it's hard to get to games that you've either got to know someone. I remember someone was asking me, can I get tickets to Arsenal game at Emirates? I was like, yeah, I don't even know how you would do that, because they're generally just sold out anyway. Or you've got to buy like the expensive tickets or the box. Football, a lot of football is unattainable. So my personal feelings is that, yeah, these guys, I'm sure they made a profit from it, but yeah, they've made it more accessible. If anything, it's helping the sport, because they're exposing the sport to the world. All the sponsors are seeing it in more places than probably the people that watch it ain't gonna get a subscription, which is why they're watching a free one. So I thought that was excessive. But I don't know. I know you said you agreed with it, but what's your thoughts about that whole situation?
I think it's mad. I think you hit it on the head. When you're getting 2 years, like there's pedophiles that walk out of court. They get like a suspended sentence with a lifetime of registering on the sex offenders list or whatever. And they're actually abusing people. Sometimes it might not be a pedophile who's abusing kids. It could just be someone who's sexually assaulted someone. Yeah, and they're still walking the streets. They're actually causing harm to someone else. These lot are just giving people 3 p.m. kickoffs and the Champions League for a reduced price, £100 a year. Like, who in their right mind? Like, there's footballers out there that play professional football that have got these same things for £100, because I know they do. I've seen some of them. And you just think to yourself, why would anyone want to pay £200 a month, or let's say argument's sake £150, when you can pay £100 a year? Like, the maths is the maths, the money is the money. That's it. So I don't agree with, and it goes back to what I said a couple weeks ago. If you remember when it was COVID and Sky and BT were charging people £50 a game. £50 a game. Some people weren't even working, if you remember, it was lockdown. So some people were out of work, and some people loved their club. They couldn't go to the game. So yeah, they might be getting a refund on their season ticket, but at the end of the day, £50 a game. Do you know how mad that is? That's not, boxing isn't even £50. You know what I mean? It's a pay-per-view. That is not £50. You know how mad that is?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's a couple of thoughts that came in my head. The first one is that I can see why people go to those lengths, because football, until about, I want to say 30 years ago, was free to watch. I know the first division, as it was in the day, but Premier League now, was free, and then you had the big match, which was on ITV or the equivalent in whatever region you was in. That was every weekend, and so I mean it's pretty much that same, like our generation and a bit above that, give or take 20 years. That's been affected, but like it's been made less and less accessible for the people that enjoy it. But my second thing, and this is more of a question, and it's not a dig at anyone in particular as well, but do you think people that actually pay the Sky subscriptions, the BT subscriptions, do you think they're kind of to blame because they enable companies to chart, like Sky will put a certain price and people pay it, so it kind of justifies to them of putting it at that price, or not really?
Yes and no, but more yes, because I think, and I'm one of them people, so I'm sitting there arguing a toss, but I still have my means and ways to watch things. But I think you just got to be smart about things, because for me now, and I'll be doing this next season, and I'm not going to incriminate myself, but I'm just going to downgrade. I've downgraded my thing already. Like, I don't have the Zone anymore. I don't have BT anymore. I literally took that off like 2 months ago, I think, or 3 months ago now. The only thing I actually pay for is probably Netflix and my Sky. So I paid for Sky, but my package is bare minimum now. So I only keep that there because the kids like to watch certain things and they watch certain films or whatever. So, and I always say to people, if you're going to downgrade your Sky, don't get rid of it, because it's a hassle getting it back. Just downgrade it, just pay the bare minimum. Like, they're offering something called Sky Glass now, where you can just literally, you don't need a dish, you don't need nothing, you just stream it through your TV. And I think it's like £14 startup, and then it goes up to like £30-40, whatever you want to add on. So I always say to people now, just that bare minimum, because one day you might need it. And you might need to increase it again. You can just put the sports back on, you can put the films back on, you can put this back on. So I always say to people, just do that. But I think you're right. I think there's people out there that, they just pay what they got to pay, and they're not bothered. They'll just pay. They say next month we put in our Sky bill up as a flat rate of £100 plus whatever you've got on top for your movies, sports, whatever. You're going to be paying £250 now. They probably still pay it, because there's some people that, like you said, can't get to the game. So in their head, they're thinking, if I was going to 4 games a month, I'm probably going to be spending £250 anyway. Do you get what I mean? They'd love to go to the game. They've got people who live at home, or like with their mums or dads, or their partners are okay with them just spending £250 a month on TV. They're probably just going to pay it anyway. Do you know what I mean? But there's some people out there that are struggling already, and they can't pay, and they're paying it because they don't want to miss out on watching their team because they can't get to the game. So I get both sides. I just think it's a bit like, what can I compare it to? Like tampons. This could be a mad example, Women need tampons. If they put tampons to £20, women can't turn around and say, oh, but do you know what I mean? Some people see football like that. They see it as like a religion to them. They need football. So they can't go without that. So if they put tampons to £35 for the wings, the wing ones, you get what I'm saying?
No, I do know what you mean, though. It is, I mean, it's all in context, isn't it? And at the end of the day, if it's a product that you see as a necessity, and some people do see it as that, like you said, the example you gave or whatever. Because I personally, I don't blame someone for doing it. Like, at the end of the day, that might be the one thing that keeps you sane. Like, that's your,
don't smoke, don't drink.
It's
your one little vice.
And who are we to judge around that? And I do think it's a shame, because my personal views, I just feel like those companies exploit people, because you just want to watch football. Do you know what I mean? You just want to chill and enjoy. Obviously, there's certain people that just, take it too far and whatever, but most people they just want to enjoy watching their team. And I do wonder if people start going back to watching highlights, because obviously, back in the day when you didn't really, I know I was talking about games would be on TV, but it would just be one game a weekend. And I wonder now if people will go back to just a highlights thing on a Sunday or a Monday, or, the free highlights. Or do you think people will just want to watch the games?
I think there's two things. I think people will want to watch the games live. And annoyingly as well, two things. So annoyingly, when it was COVID, the amount of times they put bare games on, like I think that's what they should have done. They should have just put all the games on because that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then recently, I think it was because of the coronation, they put a game on at 3:00 on like a Saturday.
I remember. Yeah.
I think it was Man City or someone like that. Now, they've proven, I think maybe it was something to do with maybe the Football League had finished then. Maybe, I don't know. But that ruling about the blackout at 3 p.m, that's nonsense now because we're in 2023. So there shouldn't even be a blackout in 2023 for football.
Yeah.
You go to America and them places there, they've got every 3:00 kickoff.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I've been saying this for years. I remember saying it in a group chat years ago, probably 3 years ago now. They need game passes. Just get a game pass. Every Chelsea game I can watch for, I don't know, $150 a year. Maybe 100 at starting. Maybe put it up to 150 after a couple of seasons. Give me that, and I would pay £100 a year to watch every Chelsea game. Game passes, they do it in NBA. Do you know what I mean? They should do the same thing, because then at that point, you ain't got to worry about getting your door bashed in or locked down, or they block your, you haven't got a VPN, so they block your what they call like the Fire Stick thing. They block all that. So you ain't got to worry about that because you've paid it already.
It's just easier as well because you don't have to sign up to their different. I mean, it'd be the end for BT and Sky, but
I don't think it would, you know.
Maybe not. Well, BT are done anyway. Is it TNT?
TNT,
now, anyway?
But we're forgetting there's people that don't even watch football, and their packages are probably just as much as people who have the sports package because they've got all like Netflix on there. They've got Sky Atlantic package, whatever it's called. This package, they've got the BT, whatever. They've got all these other things on there, and they're probably just paying just as much. So, and other people like cricket, like now it's cricket season, so everyone watches the cricket. So they probably would still make their money. Rugby is a big thing. I know BT love their rugby, and Sky have got rugby on there as well. NBA, like people got the NBA like on Sky. So I think there's enough for them to still tick over. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that for me, Game Pass is, if they don't bring that in 2 years, they've missed the boat, because I think everyone's going to be on this streaming thing. Everyone's going to be doing the £100 a year thing. Do you know what I mean? If they were smart, they would offer like £80 for the year and undercut the people that are charging £100 a year.